Put your hands up. Halt!
Gee, just a kid. What do you know? A water pistol.
Not much of a yarn for you, Jerry. Nothing that'll stop your presses.
Was he DOA?
Yeah. Caught one in the stomach and one in the chest.
Armed?
With a toy pistol. Fool kid.
Local?
Don't know. Sent his prints upstairs. No make on him yet. You seen him before?
Yes. Was never like this. Sorry to call you at this hour, Chief.
Nonsense. It's only after 2. Come in. I don't suppose the city desk can handle it.
It isn't just another story, Chief.
And I suppose it couldn't wait until morning.
Well, maybe it could, but I couldn't.
Before I retired last night, I congratulated myself. Roger, I said, you smoked 11 cigars yesterday. Today it was only 10. You're winning your fight. 11.
Mr. Stewart, I've been working for the paper. I've been working for you. A good long while now.
Take a drink.
Thanks, I don't.
Take it.
While attempting to burglarize the Travelers Jewelry Company on East Main Street at 12:27 this morning, a man was shot and killed by officers B. Lamb and F. Miller. Police reports stated that the unidentified burglar was armed with a toy pistol. I just identified that body. It wasn't a man. It was a boy, 18 years young.
You knew him?
Since he was that high.
Name?
Don't mean nothing to you. Gerber, Ricky Gerber. His father runs that small bakery over on Ostermeyer. Just got out of Wynorski High last year. Wanted to go to State U with my kid this year. Mr. Gerber said no. He needed Ricky to help out around the bakery. I just saw Gerber. I had to tell him where to go to pick up what's left of his son. It wasn't easy.
I can sympathize with the father. That must have been a terrible blow.
I found out that the kid had been gambling. Horses. Hooked by some 2-bit book. Kid couldn't pay off. Book let him double up. Sucked him in over his head. Kid was afraid his father might hear about it. Panicked. Hit the jewelry store. 18 years old. The same age as my kid. The same age as 1,000 kids in this town.
All right, Alan. Make your point.
Gerber made it for me. The way he looked at me. He asked me, why, Jerry? Why did you let this happen to my boy? He meant me. He meant you. He meant the paper. I'm no crusader, Mr. Stewart. You know that. I've always figured crusades were for young men who give no thought to personal consequences. But now I know they're for old men, too. Old men who want to do one decent thing before they check out.
What do you want to do?
I want to go after the Clockton gambling syndicate.
Yeah.
Smash it wide open, force the authorities to take action. Root this corruption out at the source before it creeps into our homes and threatens our kids.
How much do you know? Really know?
I can wreck the whole operation.
How?
By going after Johnny Merrick.
Write the first piece. Slanted toward Merrick.
Slanted? Maybe you don't understand, Mr. Stewart. I want to name Johnny Merrick. Break up Merrick Enterprises dollar by dollar.
I know. But not just yet. Not to begin with.
But if we go, we've got to go all the way. And I can't do that unless I'm free to name names and places and things.
I agree. But for now, I just want Merrick worried, anxious.
But Johnny Merrick isn't the kind of man you just threaten. You either kiss him or kill him.
I assure you, I have no intention of kissing him. Believe me, Alan, I have a very good reason for not mentioning his name just yet.
Yes. I'm sure you have, Mr. Stewart.
Agreed?
Agreed.
I'll tell Strawn in the morning to let you off all other assignments. You'll be directly responsible to me. I'll read your copy as you turn it out.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Merrick.
Morning. Any calls?
Judge Thayer, Mr. Angelo, Mr. Sweet. Nothing important.
Any mail?
Routine.
Anything for my son?
Your personal mail's on your desk. Mr. Brady and Mr. Liggett are in your office.
Oh. Traffic ticket. You handle it.
For you, Mr. Merrick? I'll fix it.
No, don't fix it. Just pay it. I went through a red light.
Oh.
Morning, boss.
Good morning, Johnny.
You know, my lawyer smiles. I begin to look for trouble.
During my long and plaid career, I've found that a cheerful aspect confuses and makes uncertain my opponents. Just read that. It'll do much good for your adrenaline glands.
In a minute.
It's important, boss.
From Rex, this letter. Boy, this kid of mine is smart. Tells me he's got his program at the university arranged so he'll go through law school in 3 years instead of 4. He's going to go to summer school. Rex Merrick, attorney at law. Better watch your step, Brady. There's tough competition ahead.
We may need him, along with a couple of Supreme Court justices.
Brady ain't kidding. It's a gun.
Old women. I'm surrounded by old women.
Yes, we're all getting along in years. Local gambling syndicate responsible for Ricky Gerber's death by Jerry Allen. 2 nights ago, while attempting to burglarize the Travis Jewelry Company, 18-year-old Ricky Gerber was shot to death by Clarkton police officers. But it was not the police bullets that took his life. The local gambling syndicate had killed him. I had known Ricky Gerber almost all of his brief life. He had gone through grade school and through high school with my own son. There was very little difference between Ricky and my boy, or yours. Starting today, this newspaper will publish a series of articles showing how the syndicate has gained control. It's continued on page 2. You see, Johnny, it's that sort of literature that inflames untutored minds and arouses ignoble passions.
Who is this kid?
$2 better. He was getting down on Angelo's book.
You speak to Angelo? He pressure the kid?
Well, the kid was into him for almost a yard.
Did he pressure the kid?
Well, he says he only asked for a payout.
See Angelo. Pack him up. He's through.
But Angelo's been laying off with us more than 12 years. We can't just... I'll pack him up.
Never mind. I'll do it myself.
Now, perhaps if I spoke to Stewart.
No. He's after something. I think I know what it is. Will you see this Gerber kid's family? Help them? Maybe you can do something for them.
No, Johnny, no. What they want, we can't give them.
Mr. Merrick.
At the quarter, Matty W. a length and a half. Bobo by 2 lengths. Jolly Roger by half a length. Romina by a neck.
Come on, Matty W!
At the half, Matty W. by a length. Bobo, Jolly Roger, Romina. In the stretch, Matty W.,
Hi, Johnny.
Bobo, and
Seen you
Romina.
in a long time.
At the finish, Romina.
Cigar? What's the matter? What is this?
I'm packing you up.
Huh?
I warned you before not to take play from kids. Settle your accounts, see Liggett.
Well, you think maybe I... Who says?
Fascinating, ain't I?
Beautiful.
Women. They can't keep their eyes off me.
Probably wondering what holds you together. Want your eggs up or down?
One up and the other down.
You look terrible. What time did you finally get to bed last night?
Oh.
It was near dawn when I fell asleep. Your typewriter was still going.
I'm working on something big, Liz. Mighty big.
How long will it go on? You look 10 years older than you did yesterday.
Feel 10 years younger.
There isn't any cream. Do you want milk or evaporated?
I'm doing some pieces on the local gambling racket.
That's nice. Now, which do you
A
want?
crusade. Who knows? Might win me a Pulitzer Prize.
Just what we've always wanted.
Oh, so a Pulitzer Prize is nothing, huh? Might mean a raise for me.
Leona wants to take piano lessons. She's been talking about it all week.
She'll have 'em on her own piano.
We haven't even finished paying for the vacuum yet.
You know, Liz, being a newspaper man is pretty important. It's a responsibility. I guess I haven't always thought of it like that. But people get to depend on you. Expect you to tell them the truth.
Don't they, though? I give you milk and evaporated, half and half. If that's the milk, man, I'll give you cream.
No, I like the evaporated.
Oh, Mr. Merrick, come in.
Thank you.
I thought it'd be the milkman. He didn't come round this morning. I ran out of cream.
I'll send you over a prize cow. There's nothing but the finest cream.
Oh, you would, too, I'll bet you. Come on back to the kitchen. I'm fixing breakfast. I haven't seen you in some time. You're looking mighty good.
Thank you.
You don't mind the kitchen, do you?
Mine? When I was a kid, all we had was a kitchen. At night, the table used to sleep 2 of us, me and my big brother. He always used to say, I guess they're finally going to have to get me a bed of my own. My feet are beginning to hang over into the sink. My father, he fooled him. You know what he did?
Mm-mm.
Put another leaf on the table.
Oh, there's a moral in that someplace. Sit down.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess there is. You never know when somebody's going to put a new leaf under you or pull one out.
A little breakfast?
No, thank you. I will have some black coffee.
All right. Jerry will be right down. He's shaving. Slept late this morning. Was up half the night.
I know. I stopped by for him at the office, and he told me he was working at home.
Mm-hmm. Is that about right?
Just fine.
But careful, it's hot.
You worry about everybody, don't you? Like everybody was one of your family.
Well, I just like to be bossy, I guess.
Jerry's real lucky.
Liz, was that the...
Morning, Jerry.
Morning.
Sure you won't have an egg, Mr. Merrick?
No, thank you, Mrs. Allen.
How's your son, Mr. Merrick?
Oh, he's just fine. I had a letter from him this morning. He says that he and Jerry Jr. see a lot of each other at school.
Really?
He says he's a fine student.
Oh, he wants to be a writer like his dad.
Rex told me he's already done some work on the school paper.
That's nice. He's a lot like his dad in a lot of ways, good and bad.
I don't think there's much bad in either of them. Depends on your point of view.
Well, I'm going to run to the store now. If you want any more coffee, it's over here on the table.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Merrick, and come back again when you're real hungry.
I'll remember that.
Bye.
Fine woman.
Yes.
Wonderful wife, nice kids, fine house. more does a man want out of life? I ask you, Jerry, what more does a man want out of life?
What can you suggest?
What?
You asked me what more can a man want out of life. I asked you, what can you suggest?
You open for suggestions?
I listen to everybody. Part of my job.
I'll tell you something, Jerry. If you're on the take, I'll go along. I'll do business. But it would bust my heart.
No, Johnny. I'm not on the take.
Well, then why? These articles you're writing. Suddenly, after all these years. You ever know me to hurt anybody? This Gerber kid, do you think that I'd... Jerry, I'd give my right arm up to here to have that boy back.
I believe you. I know you would.
But then why? Make me understand, that's all I ask.
Johnny, you asked me what more can a man want out of life. And because you asked me that, I don't think I'll ever be able to make you understand. I haven't got the kind of words that Johnny Merrick can take apart and taste them and smell them and put them back together again and then understand. All I can do, Johnny, is tell you I intend to close you down. Forever.
Smash me?
Smash you. Sorry, Johnny.
Got a job to do, do it. You got a job to do. Do it.
Good morning, Mr. Merrick.
Morning.
I'm sorry, sir, but Miss Stewart went downtown this
Mr.
morning.
Stewart sent for me.
Mr. Stewart's in the library, sir.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Merrick,
I got your message.
message.
Biggest personal ever published, half the front page of the News Tribune.
Piece mentions no names?
It doesn't mean Father Gallo at St. Sophia's.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it reminds me. Promised to make a contribution to Father Gallo's fund. Fine fellow, Father Gallo.
To me, it reads only one way. Attention, Merrick. This is only the beginning. No names yet. Let's have a meeting before I really get tough. Love and kisses, Stewart.
Your interpretation must remain your own. Clarkson, I'm sure, will read it another way. Organized gambling is a menace to the community. The system must be destroyed.
How do you spell system?
M-E-R-R-I-C-K.
20 years. Takes you a long time to make up your mind?
I've never been an impulsive man.
All right, Stewart, let's get in out of the rain. What do you want?
I run a newspaper, Merrick. My only interest is supplying the public with stories and information which will keep them coming back for more. If I find that my readers lose interest in some feature or series of articles,
You drop it.
Yeah.
Racing results, they interest your readers. Allen's articles on gambling. Maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't.
Depending on what?
On you.
How?
Your actions.
With your daughter? Oh, that's better. That's much better. For a fast minute, I thought you were sincere.
Jerry Allen is sincere.
You control Allen.
I do.
But not Felice, huh? Tell me something, and this I really want to know. How do you expect to talk turkey to Johnny Merrick when you can't control your own daughter?
Because I have something to offer Johnny Merrick. The day he promises to stop seeing her.
She's a big girl now, married and divorced, remember?
I still know what's best for her.
Yeah, you picked out what was best for her the first time. Only he had to be carted off to the loony bin with the DTs. I mean, maybe I wasn't born a gentleman, but I know how to drink like one.
It's still a question of family.
You make me sick. No deal. One thing. Once you light the fuse on this first rocket, no telling how many more may go off. Once you get a thing like this started, just make sure you don't lose control, Mr. Stewart. You want to see how much pressure I can stand? Okay. But I got a boy in college, a nice kid. Don't you do anything to hurt him. You keep your fingers... Just make sure you don't lose control, Mr. Stewart.
I hear a deep silence. You two been quarreling?
Your father's trying to sell me some advertising space.
Be careful of his rates.
The Fentons will soon be here for luncheon, Felice.
Sorry, I've just accepted another invitation. Thank you, Johnny. I'd love to.
Good. I'll buy you some pink lemonade with your dessert.
I like pink lemonade.
Well, looks like the romance is still on.
Thank you. Sherry for the lady, Tio Pepe, a martini for me, very dry.
Yes, Mr. Merrick?
Thank you. Buzz, 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 buzz. We made the day for them.
Your news, Johnny.
Yes, especially when I'm with the daughter of a man who wants to make me news.
Because of me?
Who knows? Things are dull. Newspapers need stories.
My deadpan friend. No, Johnny, there's nothing my father can publish that everyone in town doesn't know. What you do, the business you're in. And no one has ever regarded you other than as a legitimate businessman.
Thank you. I needed to hear that.
For 20 years, ever since I can remember, then suddenly Roger Stewart becomes outraged civic virtue.
Thank you.
I don't want to cause any trouble for you, Johnny.
I don't mind a certain amount of trouble.
Then it is because of me.
It's worth it.
Aren't you ready? Do you know what time it is? We miss our train. We don't get back to school till tomorrow night.
Well, we'll make it. Dad's driving us to Slade. Catch the express.
So where is he?
Well, he had to go down to the office for a minute. He'll be right back.
Slade, 40 minutes from here. The express leaves at... Oh, can't make it. Gotta miss it. Me with the exam first thing in the morning. Shouldn't have come home this weekend. I said no. Remember? I said no. You talked me into it. Said I had an exam, and my gosh, Slade, how are we ever gonna...
Relax. Nibble a soda. Dad said he'll get us there, then he'll get us there.
In what, a jet? Where were you last night?
Huh?
Dinner. Said you were coming to the house for dinner. We waited. My mother wondered what happened.
I couldn't help it. I should have called. Mrs. Allen? This is Rex Merrick. Fine, thank you. Well, look, about last night, I want to apologize for... Thanks. Sure. Next time we come home. Say hello to Mr. Allen. Oh, yes, he's here. Want to talk to him? I'll tell him. Goodbye. Mother says you forgot to pack your comb. I want you to be sure and buy another one.
Last night. Because of this, huh? Look, Rex, you and me, we've been friends a long time, huh?
Forget it, Jerry.
No good. Better talk it out. Stay straight with each other. You and your father are very close. Did he say anything to you?
No!
Well, he always talks to you, discusses everything.
Not about business. Never about business.
Funny. I was sure I'd pack my comb. You know how I feel about your father. Even my dad, he likes him. Honest, he does. This thing has come up. I don't really understand it, Rex, not all of it. But we shouldn't let it make a difference.
I said forget it!
Sure.
Hey, Rex. The heavy tweed I pack in your bag, you take it out. Why?
I won't need it, Charlie.
He won't need it, he says. You hear that? I used to pick out his diapers for him. Now he tells me what he needs.
It's not the season for the tweed. It's too warm.
Season? Don't you think I know the season? Do you think I'm a dumb... Hey, you! What's with that old man of yours? Someone stick a feather up his nose? What's the matter? He can't get a winner?
Never mind, Charlie.
But the nights, huh? Nights are still chilly, no? So you take the tweed in these here sweaters and you wear them, you hear?
All right, Charlie, you win. As usual.
Don't get fresh with me, Buster. I can still take you. Like the night I fight Sailor Cost in Detroit. Detroit? Yeah, Detroit. It was 3 or 4 years ago. Buster here was more than 5 or 6 years old at the time.
Charlie.
Yeah?
Sailor Acosta. That was almost 14 years ago.
14 years, huh? And when I don't get the return match, taking care of you and Mr. Johnny sure does chew up all the time.
We just about chewed up all the time we can spare. Your father doesn't get here pretty soon. We won't make a train out of Slade or any place else.
Don't you worry none about any trains, Buster. Ain't gonna make no difference to you if all the trains leave Clarkton and Slade and never come back. I ain't talking, but... That's it! Come on!
How do you like it?
What a crazy guy.
Ain't that a beaut, Buster? Me, I know it all along, but you can make me bleed. I keep my mouth shut.
Well, I told you Dad would get us back to school on time.
Mr. Johnny!
Thank you, Dad.
Forget it. How are you, Jerry? How's your pop and mouth?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Oh, by the way, any tickets you get for speeding, you pay for out of your own allowance. You hear? So take it easy. You didn't tip him, did you?
Never said boo, Mr. Johnny. Did I, Buster?
Charlie displayed remarkable restraint.
That's all I did, all afternoon.
Better get him started. I don't want him driving after dark.
Mr. Johnny.
Yeah.
You remember that go with Sailor Costa? Detroit?
Yeah?
When was that?
Oh, that was 3 or 4 years ago.
You see?
Guess I was wrong, Charlie.
Only by 10 years, that's all.
Poor Charlie. Every year, time that goes by gets less and less. Now, everything that happened is 3 or 4 years ago.
I'll help Charlie with the bags. Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Goodbye. Take it easy, but take it.
Thank you, sir.
Well?
Well, that's a lot of automobile down there.
I figure you for a lot of boy.
You didn't have to do that, Dad.
I never do anything I don't want to do. Need anything?
Not a thing.
Sure?
Sure.
Clothes. What about clothes?
More than enough.
Well, maybe you need some walking around money.
I don't spend half of what you send me now.
Well, what about books? Any special books I can send you?
No, thanks, Dad. The library school's very good.
You're a tough man to handle. You got anything on your mind, Rex? Any problems?
Up at school?
Yeah. Everything all right up there?
Sure.
Good.
Take care of yourself, Dad, huh?
Sure. I know how.
Hello, Johnny. No, it can't be. Not little Rex. You don't remember me, do you? Big Reuben from St. Louis. Why, we used to play cops and robbers when your daddy would bring you and your mommy down to Miami Beach. You were only about this high then. My.
Yes, of course.
I could remember
You
one
better
day
get
when
started, Rex. Call me as soon as you get to school.
Sure, Dad. Goodbye, sir.
What brings you to Clarkton?
Just flying back to St. Louis from Chicago. Thought I'd drop in, say hello.
Your plane make a forced landing? How's Marty?
Fine. Send you his fraternal greetings.
Tell him it's time I think he pensioned off that simple-minded nephew he's got running the Chicago wire room.
I heard about that.
I sent him a $12,000 bet on number 7 and the 5 at Fairgrounds. He wires me back a confirmation. 12 G's, number 7, the 5 at Hialeah.
Marty took care of it. He put you in the right book.
You want a drink?
Can't. Living on these.
All right, Reuben, you've taken your pause.
You been reading these stories?
I canceled my subscription.
6-2 and even. Nobody else in town did. Marty thinks it might be a good idea to have a meeting.
Why?
To talk this thing over, see maybe what can be done.
Nothing can be done. Freedom of the press.
This paper. It had freedom of the press for the past 20 years, no? Same owners, same publishers, same everything. So why, all of a sudden, this burn? This story here by this Jerry Allen, how thousands and thousands of local dollars flow out of the community to the layoff syndicates in Chicago and St. Louis without no return to Clarkton? That's bad, Johnny. You got a big handle here. You got to protect it. Something like this starts and no telling where it can wind up.
I can run my own town. I don't need any outside help.
Unless it's necessary. I'm only here to offer advice and some suggestions.
Yeah.
The guy who owns this paper, this Freedom of the Press Stewart, you got him down on you because of account of sometimes you can be a very stubborn citizen.
I'm listening.
Marty has a suggestion. Stop seeing the dame.
Goodbye, Reuben.
Take the heat off, Merrick.
Now you get this straight. For 20 years, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, and New York, I've run my own business and my own life. Nobody tells Johnny Merrick how, why, when, or where. Not you, Marty, or Marty's idiot nephew.
Marty is my brother. His idiot nephew is also my idiot nephew.
You know, your game is really improving. Feeling very much better. A couple of weeks, you'll break 130.
The usual, Mr. Murray?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. That was my husband's. It was left behind when he went away.
So I've noticed it before.
I noticed you noticed it.
Isn't that a little bulky for a girl?
Is it so difficult for you to think that I was married once?
I'll hate it till the day I die.
Robert,
Yes, Miss Stewart?
you do smoke, don't you?
Yes, Miss Stewart.
Then you'll be able to use this.
Oh, thank you, Miss Stewart. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Stewart.
Hello, police. Johnny.
Hi.
Hello, Walter.
Would you mind terribly, police, if I took Johnny away for a minute? The Board of Governors are having a special meeting in the trophy room. They'd like your advice.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Excuse me.
And Johnny?
Yeah.
I'll be waiting here for you.
Come in, Johnny. Glad to see you. Governor's meeting, you know, cigars are traditional.
No, thank you. What's the trouble?
Sit down, sit down.
I have a lady waiting for me.
Oh, yes. Well, only want a minute of your time.
Take two.
We know that you've always had the best interests of the club at heart.
$25,000 worth of the best interest in the new golf house.
Yes, most generous of you, and we were not unappreciative.
All right, Dunlop, get into the stretch.
Yes. Well, as district attorney of Clarkton, I received a communication late last night. It was from Senator Kettridge. Kettridge is head of the Crime Investigating Committee of the state legislature. The committee will arrive in Clarkton this afternoon to start a formal investigation of organized gambling and vice. You are to be called among the first witnesses.
I warned you not to light that fuse.
Excuse me.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Is there any chance of your being, deeply involved?
Nice of you fellas to worry about me. It's real friendly.
Well, we are also worried about the reputation of the club.
Want me to resign?
Well, we thought that we'd ask you to search your mind, Johnny, and if you felt that there is a possibility of any unpleasantness for the club, you might consider resigning before the investigation starts.
Look, Dunlop, you've been the district attorney here for 12 years. If I'm suddenly, an undesirable or a criminal, why haven't you done something about it before this?
Oh, now, please be reasonable. We're only thinking of the good of the club.
Like when you took the $25,000 for the new golf house. Nobody asked me where the money came from, did they? I'm not resigning. Out of gas?
Out of patience. Since we've left the club, mileage 17.6. Wordage none.
Well, that's what I'm having trouble with, Felice. Words. I can't seem to find the ones I have to use.
Big words or little ones?
They are little words for a big problem.
Maybe if you tell me what you're trying to say, I can help you find the words.
All right. How do you say it's been nice knowing you, Miss Stewart, but drop me at the next bus station?
Your bus fare.
Look, honey, a Senate investigating committee is coming to town. They're going to investigate organized gambling in Clarkton on account of Jerry Allen's articles in the papers. I tell you, there's going to be trouble.
You said it yourself, you don't mind a certain amount of trouble.
For myself, no.
You'll handle it, Johnny. You've handled tougher situations.
They'll want to know who my friends are and why. I can't go the distance if I have to carry you. They'll want to know about
I'm not running, Johnny. My deadpan friend. I'm not running.
I was just about to call missing persons about you. How was your game?
Stay away from that Clarkton Country Club. They got a fixed golf course. Any calls?
Tell him.
Ed Jockey, Sheriff's Office. Called twice. Important. Said he'd be here at 5.
With a plaster.
When he comes, Mr. Merrick?
Take it.
You sure?
Yes, take it. Send Liggett in, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Liggett?
What are they after?
Well, my best guess is...
I don't pay you $25,000 a year to guess. I want advice.
Chief counsel for the committee is a man named David Wiley.
Who is he?
Oh, he's a young fellow from upstate, ambitious. He punches hard, but he's honest.
He can't be reached?
Not until he's at least 10 years older. We can't wait that long.
Where are they going to hit first?
He's going to subpoena your books, your business records, tax returns, every transaction that the Merrick Enterprise has ever made. He can't hurt you much locally, and he knows that. But there is one very serious area.
Chicago and St. Louis.
Precisely. That's his target. He's going to hang you with an interstate gambling conspiracy rap.
That's federal.
No, the state Senate committee can turn over their findings to the federal authorities for proper action and prosecution.
I see. How do we stay off the rail?
That's what you pay me $25,000 a year for. It should be Liggett.
Want me?
Kettridge committee's here.
So?
They're going to hand you a subpoena.
I'm in the wholesale mushroom business.
Well, close down the Chicago-St. Louis wires.
Without the layoff, we can't operate.
Do what Brady says.
Get rid of all out-of-state layoff records.
I'll put them where I grow my mushrooms.
Oh, forgive me. I didn't know you were... I mean, sir...
It's all right. Come on in, Frank.
Just wanted to show you today's balance sheet. There's a handle of 37,500, 21,000 layoff in Chicago, and the accountant's reports a balance of $16,000, giving us a net of $7,456 on the day.
All the tracks in?
Wherever we have money running, yes, sir.
Fine. File it.
Lose those records, Liggett.
Hello, Ed.
Johnny, don't be sore.
It's all right, Ed.
I know you got me the job in the sheriff's office, and I got to give out subpoenas, and you understand, don't you? I'm just a messenger, that's all, just a messenger. The state legislative committee for, the Kettridge committee. I got to serve these papers. They want you for witnesses at 10 a.m. tomorrow. You, Johnny. You, Liggett. And you, Frank Tasker.
Me? But what do I say to them?
Now, you handle figures, but you don't know what they mean. Real estate profits, his mushroom business, Johnny's private bets, anything. You add, multiply, and subtract, but you don't know what it means, understand?
But I do know. Mr. Merrick, don't make me do perjury.
Do exactly as I told you.
Mr. Brady, I'm an honest man. Mr. Merrick, I've worked for you for 20 years. How will it sound if I say I don't know what I'm doing?
Everything will be all right. You just do as I have told you.
I'm an honest... Every dollar accounted for. 20 years. Perjury. My wife, she's no longer young. Mr. Merrick.
Frank. Answer the questions, Frank. Anything they ask you, tell them the truth, you hear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Johnny, you want me to keep you off the rail. Don't make it difficult for me.
I'll talk to Frank.
You leave Frank alone.
Sure.
Hello, I want to speak to Rex Merrick at the State University. The number is... Never mind.
Hello, Johnny.
How did you get in here?
Fine way to greet your friends. I drive all the way from Chicago. Does a man say, hello, Marty, how are you? Have a drink, how's your health? No. What does he say? How did you get in here?
My brother likes to be friendly. Why don't you let him be friendly?
All right, Marty, say your piece. It's late. I'm tired. I gotta hit the sack. I got a big day tomorrow.
You sure have. Don't get tough, Johnny. Please, please. Toughness is what we peddle, but not to each other, huh? So take it easy, please. So, all right. I didn't drive all the way down here to show you muscle. You know that. Look, last week I sent Ruby down here to talk to you, to warn you.
And I told Rube. It's my own town, my problem, my headache. I'll handle it in my own way.
Ain't he a pistol?
Yeah, pistol. Like you say, Merrick, your headache. But it could be mine. That's what I'm here to prevent. Sure, I got this all over the country. You ain't alone. I'll let you run your town in your own way. But one thing, you're out-of-state layoffs. St. Louis, Chicago, Kansas City, my syndicate. The LMG wire service, my wire service. That's what they're going after. Trying to come in from all over the country, on me. Don't fix me no federal rap, Merrick.
I'm not planning on fixing one for myself.
You'll fix it for both of us if they can hook us together.
I never saw you before. I never did a dime's worth of business with you.
What about your layoff records?
It's fertilizer for Liggett's mushrooms.
One more loose wire. This guy, this fella, this newspaper man, Allen.
Mr. Johnny. Mr. Johnny. I tried to stop him. I told him.
You know, Specs, my idiot nephew.
Just give me the word, Mr. Johnny. Just give me the word.
Charlie. Go to bed. Go to bed. Get this hoodlum out of Clarkton and never bring him back.
It's Allen. He's loaded with information. He's going to get a subpoena. Tomorrow you'll talk to him. You'll give him 10, 20 G's to get out of the state. To not be here when they come looking for him. If you have to use muscle, use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 418. Now, when he comes out, you know what to say?
Yeah?
You sure you know what to say?
Who's that?
Must be his wife and kid.
Yeah.
You remember what Mr. Marty told you, how to talk to Allen?
Yeah?
Let me hear.
Look, I know.
Let me hear.
Excuse me, Mr. Allen, but would you mind coming with us in that there car for us to drive you to the Clarkton house?
He will say why. What for?
For to talk to Mr. Marty, who will only take a minute of your time and wants to make you a very interesting proposition.
Very, very good. Excellent.
See?
Remember, no muscle.
Yeah.
The piece. Give me the piece.
What for?
This ain't a gun job.
I know, but I get nervous without it.
You like to hear the noise. See them fall. Give me the... Harry!
Bye-bye.
Don't work too hard.
Alan? Alan, would you come in that car over there with us so we can take you down to Proctor Coast? No, wait a minute. Mr. Marty asked us to bring you down. He wants to make you a very interesting proposition.
No.
Well, now, wait a minute. I was told that I was supposed to bring you out. Now,
Don't be...
Harry!
The committee will come to order. Let it be noted in the record that pursuant to the call of the chairman, the committee met at 10 a.m. in Clarkton Courthouse, Clarkton. Present, Senators Kettridge, Swalgard, and Gross. Also present, David Wiley, Chief Counsel. We're sitting as a subcommittee of the Senate Committee investigating organized crime. Our proceedings are fully authorized by the legislature of this state. I will make no general opening remarks. Whatever story there is to tell will come out in testimony. Counsel wishes it noted that the witnesses who shall appear here are merely witnesses. They are charged with no crime and are not defendants. They are here, we hope, to help us. It is not our job to convict or acquit, merely to obtain testimony. Will you call your first witness, Mr. Wiley?
Angelo Bruno.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony that you shall give before this committee will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Will you state your full name, please?
Angelo Bruno.
Are you known by any other name?
Yeah.
What are these names?
Oh, Bart, Vaccaro, all like that.
Well, how many different names did you use?
I don't know. Any place I go, I mention any name that comes to my mind.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Oh, way back at 30, 31 something.
I'm interested. Was that as Bruno, DeBart, or Vaccaro?
LaForge.
What business are you engaged in now?
No business. After 12 years, nothing. I wind up with the shells.
Well, what business were you in?
A bookmaker. Till I got on Johnny Merrick's drop-dead list.
Eh? On Johnny Merrick's what?
Please explain what you mean by that.
Here's what. In this town, you want to make book, you go to Johnny Merrick for the okay.
Without securing Mr. Merrick's approval, you couldn't operate as a bookmaker in Clarkton?
Practically. Here's what. I say to myself, I'm going to make book, but I need a couple of G to start, no? Also a layoff connection. I can't handle all the bets. Why, if I take a bath, I'm out of business in a couple of races.
So Mr. Merrick provided you with the capital to start your business?
Sure. No bank will borrow me money on my reputation. So I scratch my head and I get an idea. I go to Johnny Merrick, he borrows me the money and gives me layoff. Also racing information. Results, prices, scratches, all like that. From the LMG wire service from Chicago.
And does Mr. Merrick hold a monopoly in Clarkton on that service?
All I know, Merrick sends down word. No more layoff. No more wire service for Bruno. I'm scratched.
Tell us all you know about Mr. Merrick's own layoff operations with a syndicate in Chicago and St. Louis.
I don't know about that.
You know that you had to lay off with Merrick. You know that every other bookmaker in Clarkton has to lay off with Merrick. You've already told us that Merrick's handle for all tracks, 7, 8 races. Your layoffs, 200 other books in Clarkton, amounts to thousands and thousands of dollars a day. Does he hold all these bets himself?
I don't know nothing about his business.
You know a man called Mr. Marty?
I hear, never meet.
Big Reuben?
Never. I don't meet him.
All right, Mr. Bruno, you can go now. But you'll remain under subpoena. If we need you, we'll call you back. Mr. Frank Tasker.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please sit down, Mr. Tasker. Will you state your full name, please?
Frank Tasker,
Your address?
7112 Fortunatus Street.
Do you own your own home?
Yes, sir. With a mortgage.
And what is your occupation?
I'm a bookkeeper, sir.
Your employer?
Merrick Enterprises, sir.
How long have you been so employed?
19 years, sir.
And what is the nature of your employer's business?
I don't know, sir.
Mr. Tasker, I find it hard to take that answer very seriously. You have, by your own admission, worked for this firm for 19 years. Now, I'll put the question to you again. What line of business is your firm engaged in?
I don't know, sir.
But surely you must know what your firm does.
I handle figures, sir, that's all.
Mr. Tasker, are you aware of the penalties for perjury?
Yes, sir.
Do you expect this committee to believe that after 19 years with one firm, you don't know what that firm does?
I handle figures, income, outgo. They give me the figures, I add, subtract, strike, total. That's all, sir. To me, they're just numbers on paper, sir.
Well, who gives you these numbers?
Why, I find them on my desk.
Mr. Tasker, I have no wish to get you into trouble, but I have no recourse other than a perjury warrant unless you answer my question. Now, will you please tell me what line of business is Merrick Enterprises engaged in?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that.
Mr. Tasker, perhaps it would be better for you to refuse to answer on the ground that an answer might incriminate you.
I'm not a criminal. No, I can't say that about not incriminating myself.
Then you persist in the answer that you do not know what business Merrick Enterprises is engaged in. It might be better for you to refuse to answer and thereby incur contempt. That's a less serious charge than perjury. The witness is excused. A warrant for his arrest will be applied for immediately.
Thank you, sir.
The next witness will be Miss Felice Stewart. Good morning, Miss Stewart. The committee wishes to thank you for appearing here.
I had no alternative.
Miss Stewart, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
I'll try to be very brief.
So will I.
Will you state your full name, please?
Felice Stewart,
Your address?
521 North Rockingham Road.
Please tell the committee all that you know about Mr. John Merrick.
I regard that question as impertinent.
Miss Stewart, permit me to remind you that you're here under subpoena. You have the option of not answering my questions, thereby incurring contempt. But you do not have the privilege of characterizing them.
If you cannot answer, Miss Stewart, you may merely say, I know nothing.
I would also like to remind Miss Stewart that she's testifying under oath.
Yes. Repeat the question, please.
Please tell the committee all that you know about Mr. John Merrick.
John Merrick is a fine man. I have never known him to injure anyone or engage in a single dishonorable act. He's lived. He's had experiences. He's somebody. Perhaps when you are a little older...
Miss Stewart, we're not concerned with your opinion, which may be debatable. We are only interested in facts. Now, it has been brought to the attention of this committee that you are a close associate of John Merrick.
Your snide implications, Mr. Wiley, add little to the respect you demand for this committee, or for your own stature.
I am sorry, Miss Stewart. I meant no offense. Did Mr. Merrick ever mention in your presence a man called Mr. Marty?
Never.
Perhaps you've heard the name Big Reuben.
No.
Did Mr. Merrick ever tell you why he would make brief visits to Chicago and St. Louis?
I never discussed Mr. Merrick's business with him.
But surely when he did leave town, you knew where he was going.
He never volunteered the information. I never asked.
Wouldn't it be natural for you to say, Where are you going, Johnny? When will you be back?
It's obvious that you know only inquisitive women.
You haven't answered my question.
I've answered 3 times.
Not to my satisfaction. Did you ever say...
Leave her alone!
Excuse me, gentlemen. Mr. Merrick wishes to apologize to the committee for his outburst. He has nothing but the highest respect and esteem for the honorable members and begs their indulgence.
Please identify yourself.
Barry X. Brady, attorney representing Mr. Merrick.
Very well. The committee will accept Mr. Merrick's apology. But we'll tolerate no further display of rowdyism.
Thank you, Senator Kettridge.
The witness is excused. Thank you, Miss Storch. Before we call Mr. Merrick, the committee will take 1 hour recess. We ask that all interested persons please be punctual.
Pardon me. Maybe I can get the stipulation. You wait here and I'll try to see Wiley. Pardon me.
Dad. Hello, Dad. What are you doing here? I thought maybe there was something...
Beat it. Sorry, Mr. Merrick. I can slug you for this.
But, Dad, I thought...
You thought. Look, Rex, this is no part of you. Come back to school where you belong.
Anything is part of you, Dad. It's part of me, too. Well, what happened, Dad? Why did Mr. Allen do this to you? Maybe if I talked to him.
No.
Well, maybe I could help.
How? Why? What could a kid like you do? Don't be such a big shot, wise guy.
I only wanted to be with you.
Now, you listen to me. You go back to school where you belong, and I don't want to find you hanging around here anymore. You'd be nothing but trouble. Understand?
Pardon me. When I got out of law school, I felt mighty important about being admitted to the bar. But this man, Wiley, he talks as though he were ordained by the Bar Association. You all right, Johnny?
Sure.
Something I can do for you?
Yeah, buy me a cup of coffee.
What do you want?
What happened? I came to see if...
Those slugs I recovered looked like 38s, but those exit wounds, you'd need the wallop of a heavy 45.
We'll drop those slugs at ballistics right away, Doc.
On my way.
Johnny Merrick's kid. Johnny send you here. What do you want?
I came to see Mr. Allen.
Come on.
Jerry's in bed. Filled with bullets. He's dead. I told him, mixing with Merrick, gangsters. How will I tell the children?
Buster, what are you doing here?
Hello, Charlie.
What's the matter with you, kid? You sick? How come you ain't at school? Mr. Johnny ain't gonna like you coming home like this. Buster, what's the matter with you? Remember when we lived near the house, huh? Over there by the river. Let's go inside, huh? I get dizzy out here, all that sun and high up and... Here, like the time I fight Butcher Toon in Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh. It was my first outdoor go in the daytime. You'd think it was... Hey, Butcher knocked me out. Oh, you know what beat me? Sunstroke. How's about a cup of hot java? Huh, Buster? Can I get you something? Anything? Buster! 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 Buster!
The city was shocked this morning by the mysterious shooting of Jerry Allen. The body of the 53-year-old newspaper man was found on the sidewalk close to his modest home on Alton Road. Mr. Allen was shot and killed by an unidentified gunman as he left his home to attend the first sessions of the Kettridge Committee hearings. The reporter had 10 days ago launched a byline crusade against Clarkton's organized gambling syndicate. Police have indicated that they believe the killing resulted from Allen's crusade and that the gunman was imported from another state. Allen is survived by his wife Elizabeth and 2 children. Leona, 12, and Jerry Jr., 18. The latter a student at State University. Your next newscast will be at 4:15.
The committee will come to order. News has been brought to us of a shocking crime committed on the streets of Clarkton this morning. It is not a situation that this committee can concern itself with, but one that must be handled by the local police authorities. We do, however, wish to read into the record a tribute to Jerry Allen from the members of this committee. He was not an exceptional man, but he did have community conscience. He took the burden of Clarkton's fight against organized racketeering on his shoulders and made it his fight. For this, it appears he paid with his life. For this, he achieved greatness. Will you proceed with your witness, Mr. Wiley?
Mr. John Merrick.
Thank you. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give to this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
For the record, will you state your full name?
Barry X. Brady.
You're a member of the bar?
I am, and I'm appearing as an attorney for Mr. Merrick.
Senator Kettridge, Mr. Merrick received a subpoena for certain records.
That is right.
The records of Merrick Enterprises. They are not forthcoming.
If you will permit me to explain, sir. Mr. Merrick did tell his office manager, the man in charge of those records, to produce them.
Where are those records?
They were sent to New York, Senator, for audit. Merrick Enterprises employs a firm of accountants in New York.
Very eccentric. Aren't there any accountants in Clarkton?
None in which Mr. Merrick can sincerely place his confidence, no.
Look here, Counselor. Do you expect us to swallow that, eh? Swallow that? You're obstructing the work of this committee. And important work, I might add. And this business about New York accountants. Why, a child could see, a mere child, any child, that this was nothing but a dodge. And I do not hesitate to use the word, a dodge.
I concur with Senator Swalgard's aptly expressed sentiments.
Now, Mr. Merrick will be perfectly willing to produce those.
Willing? It's not a matter of whether he's willing or not. Those records have been subpoenaed, and we want them.
The records were sent to New York before the subpoena was served.
Then you have orders to get those records back from New York.
That I will do, sir. Providing, of course, they have not been lost in the mail.
They had better not be. You may proceed, Mr. Wiley.
Please sit down. Will you state your full name?
John Merrick.
Your address?
400 Courant Avenue. I have an apartment there.
You also own the building?
Yes.
What is your business, Mr. Merrick?
Real estate.
Anything else?
I have interest in various things.
Such as?
Clarkton Hotel, Clarkton Laundry, wholesale liquor, a truck line.
You, also have an interest in the Clarkton Fight Stadium?
A small piece.
Are you engaged in any illegitimate enterprises?
No.
Are you not engaged in organized gambling?
I don't know what you mean by organized gambling.
Are you engaged in gambling of any kind?
I never gamble.
You mean that for you it's a sure thing?
Mr. Chairman, I object to counsel putting words in my client's mouth.
Counsel will limit himself to asking questions.
Please tell us the nature of the business in which Merrick Enterprises is engaged.
It's a holding company. It heads up all my investments.
Do you have any investments in Chicago?
No.
St. Louis?
No.
Kansas City?
No.
Are you engaged in gambling?
No.
Do you know Angelo Bruno?
Yes.
How does he earn his living?
I don't know.
It's obvious that either Mr. Merrick or Mr. Bruno has committed perjury.
Now, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Merrick was asked if he knows how Angelo Bruno earns his living. His answer is that he does not know.
Did you put Bruno into business as a bookmaker?
I loaned him some money. I didn't tell him what to do with it.
Did he use that money to start a bookmaking operation?
I don't know what money he used.
Didn't you supply him with wire service information and take his layoff bets?
Well, that's what he says.
Was he telling the truth?
What?
Is Bruno telling the truth?
It is not the duty of my client to pass on the veracity of Mr. Bruno.
Rephrase your question, Mr. Wiley.
Very well. Did you have any business dealings with Bruno?
I loaned him some money.
Why?
He was broke.
You make it a habit of giving money to anyone who might be broke? Have you ever heard of the LMG Wire Service of Chicago and St. Louis?
I might have.
You might have. Can't you do better than that? Of course you can. You own the Clarkton franchise for the LMG.
Well, that's what you say.
Have you ever heard of a man called Mr. Marty?
I know a lot of people named Marty.
From Chicago.
I've heard of him.
But you don't know him?
No.
This is very serious, Mr. Merrick. Please think carefully before you answer. I'll ask you the question once more. Have you ever heard, or did you ever meet, a man called Mr. Marty of Chicago?
No.
Big Reuben?
No.
Didn't you do a big layoff business with a syndicate in Chicago owned by Mr. Marty?
I own a truck line, a wholesale liquor business, a hotel, and a laundry.
You haven't answered my question. Do you do a layoff business with Marty's syndicate in Chicago?
Mr. Chairman, my client has already answered that question. I think the records will show he has denied being a gambler.
This is not a question about gambling. It refers to a monetary interstate transaction. The witness is directed to answer.
I had no business dealings with Chicago or St. Louis.
And you stand on that answer?
Yes.
The witness is excused until further notice. Perhaps under the circumstances, it's advisable to give an explanation. Mr. Merrick, I have bad news for you. Your son has just committed suicide.
Mr. Johnny, they took him away. They took him away.
All right, Charlie. All right.
I was gonna fight him, stop him, but they held me down. They took him away. Me. It was me. They let him do it. It was me.
Charlie, it's not your fault. You had nothing to do with it, understand?
He was my boy, my Buster. Why should he? Why did he?
Trying not to think why. This letter. Boy, this kid of mine is smart. Tells me he's got his program at the university arranged so he'll go through law school in 3 years instead of 4. He's gonna go to summer school. Rex Merrick, attorney-in-law. Better watch your step, Brady. There's tough competition ahead. Inspector Gordon.
He's in his office.
You sent for me?
Yeah. Sit down. Cigarette? I'm sorry about your kid, Merrick. Sorry for Liz Allen, too. On the Allen job, we got a couple of suspects. Picked up on a roadblock a couple hours ago. They don't know nothing. They don't even know each other.
You sent for me, now tell me why.
Maybe you can introduce these citizens to each other. We're putting them through lineup again. Take a look.
Yeah.
I heard they sent for you, Johnny. What's the charge, Gordon?
No charge. It's all for free.
They want me to look at a couple of punks they picked up in the Allen case.
Any objections, Mr. Consul?
On my mother's grave, I swear it. He comes into my store and he says to me, he says, Maxie, hold for me these watches, rings, and cigarette lighters. I got a new job and these here are my samples. A favor. Just a favor. How should I know this guy has given me stolen goods to hold, huh?
Tell us about your arrest, Maxie.
Look, I'm in the fruit and vegetables. I'm clean. No arrests. It's hard working in the fruits and vegetables.
No arrests, huh?
No arrests.
All right, you lying tramp. 1937, arrested in Slade. Suspicion of burglary. 1939, arrested in Greenville. Possession of stolen goods. 1944, arrested in Winthrop. Possession. 1950, arrested in Slade as a pickpocket. No arrest, huh?
I thought you meant this year.
Step down. All right. Come on, get a move on. Come on, get up there. All right, both of you, take your hat off. Held for questioning in the Allen murder. On the left, identified by a driver's license as Morton Kobek, Chicago. On the right, no identification. What's your name? Where you from? Anybody here ever see these two guys before? Okay, mister, tell us your story.
I tell it 5 times.
Well, okay, then tell it to us again.
I'm driving back home to Chicago. I pick up this tramp, hitchhiking. I don't know him from Adam. I want a lawyer.
Outside.
All right, we'll get you a lawyer, mister. Come on, step down. All right, Maloney, move those two guys in the next room. Come on, get a move on.
I know them.
Listen to me, Johnny.
Specs Kovic, the idiot nephew of the LMG wire service. The other one is Little Harry, gunman from Chicago. Likes to kill people. It makes him feel good.
Yeah, they got Allen. But I got no witnesses, no nothing. You follow me?
Well, I think I can get to Little Harry if you'll let me talk to him alone.
Bring him into my office.
You fool. You get him to talk and you hang yourself. Kickers will hit him with a subpoena, roping you in with the Specs, Marty, Big Reuben, everything you denied on the stand. They'll hit you with 16 counts. Federal rap, perjury. Do you understand what you're doing?
Well, I understand a lot more than I did yesterday. Kittredge and Wiley, those guys, they're right, I'm wrong. My whole life I've been wrong. Maybe that's why Rex and Jerry were... You can't run a clean sewer. So it figures, doesn't it? A heavy rap, Specs is a nephew. Who do you think is going to take it? Specs? Big Reuben? Marty? No, you. You're going to take the fall alone. But you're bigger than they are, Harry. You can make them burn. Just lift a finger, that little finger, and the state will strap them in a chair and kill them. You say the word, and they're dead. No gun, no trouble, nothing. Just lift that little finger, they're dead, and you killed them. That's power, Harry, that's real power. And they know it, that's why they're afraid of you. They're afraid that you'll make them burn. Just by lifting that little finger.
Will they let me watch?
From the front row.
This committee is not directly concerned with the legal question of your guilt or innocence. We're only interested in the fact that you were brought to Clarkton to commit a crime. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear that the evidence you're about to give is the truth?
Yeah.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
All right, sit down. State your name.
Harry Gubernick.
Where do you live, Harry?
Division Street, Chicago.
How do you happen to be in Clarkton?
They brung me.
Who?
Mr. Marty, Big Reuben, Specs.
For what purpose were you brought to Clarkton?
They don't tell me no purpose.
Well, why did Mr. Marty, Big Reuben, and Specs come to Clarkton?
I want to see Merrick, Johnny Merrick.
They know John Merrick?
Sure they know him. He lays off with Mr. Marty's syndicate.
And did they see Mr. Merrick?
Yeah, they seen him. They left me at this hotel, see? And then they come back and say, we got to do something about this here Allen. They say...
You mean Jerry Allen?
Yeah, this here Jerry Allen. They say they talked to this here Merrick, but he don't want to do nothing about this Allen, see? So they send me, me and Specs to take care of this here Alan.
What do you mean by take care of Alan?
Like he was took care of.
You mean you were told to kill him?
Yeah.
Who gave you those instructions?
Mr. Marty and Big Reuben.
That's all. Mr. John Merrick, please. You heard Harry Gubenick's testimony.
Yes.
Was he telling the truth?
Yes.
Did Mr. Marty, Big Reuben, and Specs visit you to discuss the situation in Clarkton?
Yes.
Are these the men from the syndicate in Chicago and St. Louis?
Yes.
And you did a layoff business with this syndicate?
Yes.
You are therefore in control of the organized gambling racket in Clarkton?
Yes.
The witness is excused. A warrant will be issued for your arrest for perjury. Further findings will be forwarded to the proper federal authorities. We recommend that Mr. Merrick be taken into immediate custody.
This committee stands adjourned.
Johnny! My dead hand friend, I love you, and I'll always love you.
All aboard!